Hi, I'm Gabe.
And I'm Kat.
And we're the Ghouls Next Door. Yeah.
Talking about that spooky stuff all day, every day.
Yeah, and we're...
All day.
All day.
You know,
Yeah,
hype about it.
It's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Putting it out in the world. You know, if we're not hyper, who is this? Doing it.
I'm super hyper.
And hurting ourselves? What would you do to make that pain go away? Would you wish for it to go away?
No, I just I just get through it. Like an adult.
Well, what about like $1 million? You want some of that?
At what cost, Kat? At what cost?
No, that ruins the fun if I tell you.
Oh, dang it.
Here.
Well, Kat, it is the most wonderful time of the year.
Is it?
Yeah. It's
Cool.
December.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm now I'm on the same page.
It's a holiday time.
It's the time.
It's time of all the holidays. There's like 7.
Not time of the season. Because isn't that
It's
fall?
the time
Isn't that
of
season?
the season. Bing, bing. Yeah, it's winter. Is the season that we're in right now. Yeah. This is the time of the year when miracles happen.
Yes.
And all your wishes come true.
Mm-hmm. But, as we said earlier, be careful what you wish for.
Be careful what you wish for. Kim, you're embarrassing us. Stop trash digging. Do you have to do that here?
Why do you have to do that right across from where the school is?
She's like, what?
You're the worst dad. Dig for trash other places.
Why is that your job? Okay, so
I think it's like the opposite. Where it's like not. He just has a hoarding problem.
There's a lot. We're going to talk about it.
It's the whole time.
Yeah.
This is everything. Let's go.
Yeah. So this is episode 35. And it's December. And we wanted to talk about some gifts, some presents, some wishes
Yeah.
for this season.
It's the season of miracles, apparently. So, yeah.
Season of Miracles. On 34th Street and on this 35th episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Miracle.
Connections.
Yeah, we made it. So today we're going to talk about wishes. You know?
Yeah. You know, your biggest wish, your desire, what you want in life, how you get it. Maybe it kills all your friends. Then at least you're rich, right? I don't know.
At the end of the day,
It's a magical
isn't
time.
that what matters?
Yeah.
You know, Kat, if wishes were fishes, the world would be an ocean.
Oh, well, that's a lovely little anecdote. Thank you, Gabe.
You're welcome. I think I read it on a fortune cookie.
That sounds about right.
And I don't know why it stuck with me.
Because it was terrible.
I've gotten 1 million fortune cookies in my day, and that's the only one I remember.
Oh, I've had many that were terrible.
Oh, yeah, I've had lots of bad ones. This is the only one I remember.
Do you wish to know others?
Nope.
All right, well, I keep trying.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to catch you
It's
eventually.
not working. It's not working. So we are going to talk about wishes and wish gone bad and the cost of wishes, the lore behind
Why people are
getting
always
them.
wishing for, like, stupid stuff?
Yeah. No one ever does a good wish.
Yeah. And that always bothered me as a child when I watched these awful movies. I would always try to, like, think of ways to outsmart the wish giver. I don't know what the heck
That
they were
guy.
called. Yeah. They were always just like, well, careful what you wish for, because when you wish for it, then, like, we can twist it and, like, trick you. And I'm like, nah.
Yeah, so wishes
Yeah.
and fishes. Bishes. We won't add that in there, but it's
Yeah,
cool.
it's excellent. You're
Yeah.
doing a great job. Hey.
Yeah. So, Kat,
Yeah.
I had... Gabe,
Tell me about
this is
it.
Gabe speaking.
Oh, hey.
Hi, this is your Gabe speaking. We're going to have a nice, smooth ride. Through the...
Are they inside of you? Because you just talk to them like they're on an airplane. That is you.
Smooth sailing from here on out. I know it's hard to believe, given the fact that I cannot keep a straight face, but I promise I am a professional, and this podcast ride's gonna be nice.
Yeah.
And so,
Guaranteed.
Gabe here. Hey, friends. So, I met Wishmaster at a convention when I was in high school.
That's crazy.
And I was like, oh, wow, famous person, will you sign this photo of yourself? And Robert Englund, which I knew who Robert Englund was, so I was like, yeah, so sign this picture? And he was like, yeah, of course. And then I walked away and I was like, I have no idea who that was. It's like, I don't know who that guy was. But he had a picture of him and Freddy Krueger. So I'm going to get him to sign it so I can get Freddy Krueger to sign it.
Oh, that's worth
and then it's
$1
worth double it. So, yeah. So I met Wishmaster.
Yeah.
He was fine.
He was a nice guy?
I wouldn't say nice, but he was fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't say nice. Other ones were nice. Leatherface, very nice. Such a pleasurable man.
Oh.
So kind.
Yeah.
He was super cool. And then Pluto from The Hills of Eyes, the giant one.
Oh, yeah, really.
Also super nice. Mm-hmm. He also plays other scary stuff, but he's really a nice man.
I believe you.
Yeah. So that's my thing. The thing is, I never watched Wishmaster until we watched it for this episode, and then I realized that I have seen about 2 minutes of the end, and I remember putting it on because I was like, okay, I met that guy. I should see what it's about. And then it was the most chaotic, absurd thing I've ever seen. So I lasted 2 minutes, 100%. And I was like, I don't want to watch this. And so then I never did again.
Yeah. I mean, it was another, in this episode of Kat watching things before she should.
Yeah.
I watched a marathon of this more than once. I don't know why. I was probably like 7. And a lot of real messed up stuff happens in this movie. It's
really gross.
Yeah, like, I remember it being really messed up and being like, I shouldn't be watching. Like, I remember thinking I shouldn't be watching it as I was watching it, but, you know, you don't stop.
Nope.
It's like Cronenberg stuff. It's just, like, really gross, and you can't look away, and it's just there, and you're in it. You're in it for life. But one thing I definitely vividly remember is, ever since seeing that, I was like, well, if I had 3 wishes, I would just be really specific so he can't trick me.
Ah, yes, I've been there.
Yeah, so I would like come up with the most elaborate fucking wishes. It was insane. I was an insane child. I was like, all right, well, for one, I want a wallet that it keeps giving you money, but the money doesn't get stolen from anywhere. It's just like counterfeit money, but no one can tell that it's counterfeit money, and then like it just keeps reappearing, and it's whatever you think of. And I was like, there's no consequence for this. Like, I just would write elaborate wishes, and they'd be super long, and like one of them would be that would be the money thing, because I was like 10. And then the rest of them would be like for other people. So I'd be like, I want this good thing to happen, because like, how could that go wrong? You're wishing for other people. It was like a whole time. I was like super specific. I thought that was the way. Because it's like, if they're going to manipulate my words, they're going to have a lot of words. So that's really hard to manipulate them.
Yeah, you have to be very specific.
It's literally like the birth of my explaining things in circles.
Yep.
It was just like, I'll just keep talking until there's so many words that there's no way they won't understand. They can't
doubt it now.
They can't manipulate my words because they just never end. It was the beginning. Wishmaster started that. So.
I can't get my wish if I don't stop wishing for it.
Yeah. I don't know. It was the whole thing. I was like, they'll understand. By the end of this 20-minute ramble, they'll get it. It'll be great. So.
Yeah.
That was my experience with Wishmaster.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard of Genies, and, you know, my favorite one, Robin Williams.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
He was great. But that ended nicely. Because he was like, wish for me to be out of here. And he was like...
Oh, yeah, he was like a lovable...
And then Jafar was like, I want to be as strong as a genie. And it was like, comes with a price.
Yeah.
They all have prices. But that's the only genie that you root for. The rest of them suck.
If you just run into a bunch of genies, so that you have a lot of experience talking to genies there, Gabe?
Yep. I rub lots of lamps. Just in case.
Are you a genie in a bottle?
No, but I encountered them. I don't want to be rubbed anyway, right or wrong.
Okay, cool. Glad we cleared that up.
No rubbing.
All right.
I rub the lamps around here. I am the one who rubs.
Okay. Well.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we cleared that up.
That's excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm thrilled. She's putting her thumb up. If you didn't notice through the headphones.
Did you hear what I dinged? They know that.
Facts. Yeah, facts. We tell you facts. All the facts. Your facts. Still facts.
Yeah, tell me.
You should be careful what you wish for.
Ah, thank you for that lovely advice.
Yes, because like the laws of alchemy, equivalent exchange.
Yeah. There's always a price.
Yeah.
Price to pay.
Yeah, usually it's your soul. Which is a pretty, you know what, I'd say it's not equivalent at that point.
Yeah.
I think my soul is worth more than, like, kind of popularity at high school and a guy being obsessed with me to the point where he probably, like, is going to rape me.
Yeah.
Or
I
someone
feel like
getting
if
really hurt because I don't, because
Yeah.
I'm, hating on women because women hate on women.
If the wish is going to result in your life not being a thing anymore, it's probably not the thing you want. Because I feel like at the end of the day, the main goal is to just still be here. So.
Yeah, but, like, better.
Yeah.
And what is better, you know?
Well, the biggest thing is that people generally tend to, like, wish for not the result. They wish for the path to it. So they think the thing that will make them happy is money, so they wish for money. Or they think the thing that will make them happy is popularity, so they'll wish for popularity. When it's just like, just wish to be happy. How can you really manipulate that?
It's pretty legit.
Yeah. Apparently only 6% of the population would, when asked to take a 3 wishes, like, test, would just, like, say happiness. Instead, they're like, oh, I want to win $1 million. They want the shortcuts. So they wish for the thing that they think will make them happy instead of just being happy. Flaw in the human condition.
That's pretty dope.
We're never satisfied.
Yeah. And in literature and lore, this idea of wishes gone bad is rather prevalent. To start with, there's a lot of this whole concept of deals with a devil or a demon or some trickster that offers you whatever your heart's desire is. You just have to wish for it. And then, of course, it's not that. It's a different thing. So, for example, Faust is a kind of like a lore, the story of you should learn from. There's a fable.
Ah, yes.
In a way. And it's the guy, Faust, is successful, but he's dissatisfied with his life.
As everyone is, apparently.
That's how life is. It's dissatisfying. But he wants to make a pact with the devil or a representative of the devil. He sends him up. He's like, hi, I'm here to represent Satan in this court of law. I want to exchange my soul, whatever, for unlimited knowledge. That seems fair. That seems pretty decent as far as, like, wishes go.
Yeah, it's not the worst one I've heard.
Yeah. My favorite thing is a lot of these analysis about analysis.
I don't know. I'd say we move on. Words
a lot of these
complicated.
Studies in regards to this story is that he considers his soul to be, like, an equal... Like, he's just like, sure, take it.
Okay.
He's like, I want unlimited knowledge. And then... the demon's like, okay, then I get your soul. And he's like, all right.
Oh, sounds fair.
I'm not using it. Just collecting dust in here.
Yeah.
Clearly. So he exchanges his soul for these, for this unlimited knowledge and worldly pleasures. It's the most human thing you can ever ask for. And it's a demon that before this story did not exist. It's not a real demon. Mephistopheles.
Cool.
Or Mephisto.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's much better than Mephistopheles.
Sounds like a magician.
Mephisto. Yeah.
The Great.
Mephisto. I'll make your soul disappear. Yeah, so he uses demonic magic to summon him, but Mephisto is not summoned. He is actually just passing by. And so he doesn't actually have any power over Mephisto. Because, like, if he summoned him, then he'd be like, you do my bidding. But Mephisto's like, nah, I was just walking by and I heard that you needed some help. So now this is going to be an equivalent exchange situation. And so they are nice. They shake hands. They agree. No harm, no foul.
Yeah.
Except there is harm and foul.
Tell me more.
Lured you right into that trap. You thought it was going to be fine. I was going to be like, okay, yeah. He got knowledge. He got pleasures. End of story.
Did not think that. But maybe somebody did, so You got him. Excellent.
Yeah. Yeah. So in many versions of the story, after he helps Faust with his unlimited knowledge and pleasures, he also helps him seduce a beautiful and innocent girl.
Oh, I'm happy she was innocent.
Yeah, usually named like Gretchen. And then her life is destroyed because she gives birth out of wedlock. And she's in big trouble. And she drowns a kid.
Oh.
Yeah, turd. And then she's held for murder.
Well, yeah, because she murdered the kid.
Yep.
That's sad.
And she was tricked. Anyway, so...
No, I get it's sad all
yeah,
around.
it's all sad.
Sad for everything.
Faust is the bad one in this. I don't even think Mephisto's to blame.
Yeah, no,
Like, you know what? You already...
You're a fine demon. Humans suck. All right, continue.
However, Gretchen's innocence saves her in the end, and she enters heaven after execution. I don't know how, because I didn't read the story. I read about the story.
Oh.
Because when played out, it is a 15-hour play.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't...
I'm picking up now why sort of, why that went the way it did.
Watch what I didn't, because it would have been a whole time. Generally, there's a price, and the ultimate price is always your soul, or other people's lives.
Yeah.
Like the babies. Or poor Gretchen's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened to Faust? What's he doing?
He goes to hell.
Okay, well.
Actually, he suffers, and then, like, sacrifices and all that stuff, and he actually ends up in heaven in the end.
Well, that's confusing.
Yep. I don't know what the moral is, but it happens. But the theme of Faust...
Hopefully mine has a little bit of more of a resolve. But yes, continue.
Say this. You know, if you beg hard enough, God's just going to let you back in.
All right, cool. Well,
What are rules?
I don't know.
If you're watching Sabrina, she's like, I was baptized twice. Which
What's up?
do I belong to?
I don't know.
Nobody. I'm my own. The theme of
Spoilers.
Faust and Mephisto permeate our culture in many ways. They're in films like Frederick Dürrenmatt's play The Visit from 1956, in which townspeople are offered a bribe to murder one of their fellow citizens. The corrupting influence of money is also a theme of Stephen Vincent Benet's short story The Devil and Daniel Webster from 1936, which was written at the height of the Great Depression. And it follows a beleaguered farmer who sells his soul for 7 years of prosperity. I don't know why
That's not
seven
a
is
lot
something.
of years. I mean, I guess back then.
I don't know how old he was. I just know he's an old
all
farmer. So maybe he was like, how many years I got left? 7? Good. That many. Also, it's rumored that Bohemian Rhapsody is about a young man who has accidentally killed someone and, like Faust, sold his soul to the devil. So Queen got it. They made a whole opera about it and a song. And
pretty dope.
Yeah, so it's like, it's very, like, there's a lot that happens in film, media, literature, where sometimes it's not outright that it's the devil that you're making a pact with. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not all,
Well, as we know, there's not one religion. Yeah.
Was that one guy who did the one, never mind, I'm not going to remember.
Okay.
Just literature books, but
Okay.
it happens a lot, to say the least. Or there's like, it's revealed later that it's a demon or a devil, but you just thought it was like a kindly old man or something.
Oh, yeah, like the Rick and Morty episode.
Yeah, which we're going to talk about next week. So this is wishes. So this is like intangible things. Like these are ideas that
Not
can
so much
sometimes
items,
result
yeah.
in that, because it could be love, you know, whereas next week we're going to talk about gifts. Which is like, these are items
I see the difference.
that bring you
Okay.
happiness. Or, you know, there's a twist.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah. So, but you don't just make deals with devils. There's other ways that you get wishes granted or that you get trapped. There's other things besides demons and tricksters. Like, that...
You want me to tell you about it?
Like...
Yeah, like the Djinn.
Yeah.
Well, as you know, there is more than one religion, and there are lots of other things that exist in the world in terms of other cultures.
Yes.
That have, you know, going back to the old times. And, you know, there's stories and books of importance. Mm-hmm. And I
Fables.
did research that I will not say I'm an expert on.
Nope. We are a horror comedy podcast.
Yes.
If this is where you're coming to get your information, like primary source of information for anything, well, don't. For one.
Like, I was
Who
a
else are
history
other
major, and I'm
places?
doing my best.
Yeah.
But I'm
We're
not
still here
acting
for
like I'm an
entertainment.
expert on other cultures.
Yeah.
I enjoy learning about them. So if I'm wrong, please tell me.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it, honestly.
Yeah, we do the research that we do. But we are always open for input from our audience. And we're always looking to learn more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so understand that anything that we say is usually just like poking fun at people who are in these stories and like the circumstances of the stories, not the culture, and generally not the lessons that are taken from them.
Yeah, because honestly, it's a lot of really good lessons that should be attributed to all forms of society. In that, you know, you should be satisfied with the life you have. The stuff that's good about your life, appreciate it. The stuff that's bad, that's just a part of being alive. That's the thing. And that's the whole idea of being careful what you wish for. That you're trying to alter fate or reality or the things that you have in front of you. You shouldn't want that because that's not real. And the biggest thing with wishes is they're usually based on like unrealistic or like fantastical things or shortcuts even. That if we're talking about like what it is to be a bad person, usually fall under that category. Let's take a big leap in one direction with no effort or work put in. Great, wishes. Awesome, let's go. Yeah, so in the research that I did about the Djinn, it stated that Allah created 3 sentient beings. They created angels, then the Djinn, and humans. So the Djinn have free will like humans, and they have the capacity to be good, neutral, or evil. But essentially, they're supernatural beings of the Islamic tradition and are often mentioned in the Quran. But they reside in the void between worlds, which is terrifying. A parallel dimension different from the world of humans and from any other world known.
Okay.
So they're kind of naturally placed in this in-between, which is, I guess, why they would be considered to be in tiny little bottles, because they're not actually in. They're off doing their Djinn things, living life and being secretive.
Yeah.
And then you rub the bottle, and they're like, so we're going to ruin some human lives now. Cool. So it basically said that they're dangerous and hostile towards human beings every chance that they get to twist the words and desires of humans against them. So it's kind of taking on the human instinct of wanting more, not being satisfied, desire, and the whole Cain and Adam falling from paradise.
Yeah, they didn't
I
fall.
learned things, whatever.
You said Adam? Probably
Eve?
more like... Well, no, Adam
No, they
and Eve
were in paradise,
cast out
and
of
then they were
paradise.
cast out of paradise because of like wanting to know more.
Yeah, knowledge.
Wanting more, not being satisfied with the beautiful things that are in front of them.
Yeah. And even all the aminals.
Yeah. So, so it's kind of like just playing upon that like basic human desire to like want more and not be satisfied with what they have.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would use the basis of free will because they also had free will, and would twist that. So they're
So it's like
opting
you
in
made
for
the
this.
choice.
This is a twist. You chose for this awful thing to happen, and kind of playing on not making intelligent and educated decisions.
Like didn't you say you wanted this?
I want to be popular. It's like,
Okay.
Becky, come on. Do you really want to be popular? Why don't you just wish for happiness for you and all
friends.
other humans?
Like real friends. Like what is popularity? Huh?
Shallow nothingness,
Yep.
where
Okay,
everyone
so people
fake
know
likes
who you are, but no one really gives a care.
Exactly. So it's also just like based entirely around the idea that like people don't understand what happiness actually is.
Yeah.
And the actual path to get there. And this sentient being plays upon that because they're just doing their own thing in a whole other world, and they just think it's fun.
They're a genie in a bottle, baby.
Yeah, but you don't want to rub them the right way because you just want them to stay where they are and be happy with what you have. Yeah.
Thanks.
So essentially, and then also how this translates into like Satan and the idea of like the devil making a deal with the devil.
Yeah.
Is that after Allah created man, he asked the angels and the Djinn to bow before Adam.
Yep.
And at the time, one Djinn, there's just like a group of them. It's not like just one.
Yeah.
exerted its free will and chose to disobey the creator. And he was, excuse my improper pronunciation, Iblis. Sounds close, I don't know. For his disobedience, he was banished from paradise and became the devil under the name Satan. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Satan.
Yeah, Satan. And this change caused Allah sent prophets to both human and jinn alike in order to provide good counsel. And basically, like, show people the right way, the right path. And,
The right way, honey.
yeah.
Yeah, that's very similar to even like Christian lore with Lucifer, who angels didn't have free will, which is one of their things that they were upset
Yeah,
about. So
this
he,
is the middle
earned
ground.
it, yeah. But he like didn't want to bow to humans either. And then he was like, screw this, I'm going to my own place with blackjack and hookers. And then he made hell. And so that's where he is doing his stuff.
Yeah, no, it's essentially this, like, other world that we could never possibly ever hope to understand. And like humans, they have free will, and they were also created, and they're just in this in-between place, and they're mad that they were expected to bow to us.
Yeah.
Because we're not that great, we're awful.
Yeah.
We're easy to manipulate. Look at us be.
Yeah, and I think like Lucifer, the thing is like Lucifer's like his name is like, I think lover of the light or something of the light, and then Mephisto, his name roughly translates to like hater of the light. So he's like kind of like anti-Lucifer, but also anti-God. He's this weird middle ground.
Yeah.
So he is essentially like this Djinn idea.
Yeah. And there was this whole idea around the, like, creator of despair. So, like,
Yeah.
I think that was how one of the... Might be wrong.
Yeah.
But I remember vaguely that it was the creator of despair or something revolving around despair, which you actually end up seeing in the Wishmaster movie.
Yeah.
It's like he says, I am the creator of despair. Or whatever.
So they did their research a little bit.
Seems like it.
Because they call him a Djinn in there.
Yeah, no, they definitely do. And there's lots of other things within that movie that are kind of, like, just not okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
But we'll talk about it. But, like, they tried a little.
Yeah.
They did their honest
minimum.
white people try. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good...
They tried a little. And it was the 90s, so they didn't do a great job.
It's like, what in the world did I just
Was it the
witness?
90s? I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so it's essentially just like people not being happy with what they want. You should be happier. Why are you never satisfied with the things in front of you?
Yeah.
You want more, and you want shortcuts to it.
Yeah. And like you were saying, you had mentioned when we were discussing this that some of them even, so we're going to talk about the film Wish Upon, and she had 7 wishes as opposed to the 3 that we're used to seeing.
Yeah.
And it's this idea that sometimes those are related to the 7 deadly sins. Mm-hmm. And totally makes sense.
Well, yeah, because they think the path to happiness is those things.
Yeah.
They think, like, forcing someone to be in love with you. Lust.
Yep.
Wanting to be like rich and with a lot of money. Greed.
Or envy even.
Envy, yeah.
Having everyone like love you. That's also like envy. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Popularity.
Getting money without having to work for it. Sloth. Yeah. Gluttony is just literally just having an abundance of anything. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What are we missing? Wrath?
She wanted that girl to rot.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah,
And she fought people a bunch. She was a little bit of a violent lady.
Yeah. That's wrath.
Pride was not giving it back, thinking she was the only one who could control it. She didn't see, like,
What
the
else
error of
did
her
I say?
ways.
Wrath, pride,
Yeah.
greed, envy, lust, sloth, gluttony. No,
Yeah.
we got them all.
Nice.
She hits them all. Mm-hmm. So we'll talk about that more in a bit. But yeah, I think it's this idea is just like, yeah, it's be careful what you wish for, because you really hit the nail on the head there. Is that we don't know what we want.
Yeah.
And we don't understand, like, cause and effect always full way through. Like, if you don't understand, like, if you have not watched Full Metal Alchemist, if you do not understand equivalent exchange, and you don't understand that, like, this stuff isn't going to come from nowhere. Like, okay, if you ask for a lot of money, where's that money coming from? Is it now, like, robbing a bunch of poor people?
7-year-old me knew.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I was real specific. I was like, I don't want it to come out of anyone else's pocket. I don't want them to be like, where's the money, man? Like, what's happening? I don't want it to go from bad stuff. I want this to be straight up counterfeit money that no one can tell is counterfeit.
Inflation, Gat, you caused inflation.
I don't know. I was 7.
You didn't understand the government and economics enough to
Well,
make
I
this.
understood what stealing was, so I kind of got it.
You still stole, but you were just
It
doing
never
it really
happened.
well.
I never got these wishes. I'm still very
What?
broke.
I don't believe it.
Do you? Really?
Why don't you wish, viewers, listeners, we have a wish.
We do.
And it's that you subscribe to our Patreon.
Yeah, and that doesn't come at that big of a cost.
No.
It's $1 maybe.
Yes. You can do $1, you can do $5, and you get really cool stuff.
Yeah.
We have a cool video about it.
We do.
There's different tiers. There's a lot of tiers. And you get to be a Ghoul Scout.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Join our cool club.
Yeah.
You don't think of us as your soul at the end. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Maybe. Read the fine print. Essentially, agreeing to terms and conditions is the equivalent of like making a deal with the devil. You don't know what
No.
you're agreeing to.
Don't say that.
Well,
We want them to do it.
no, I know. I'm just teaching them a lesson while we're going down this road.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm sure the terms and conditions of Patreon is not your soul.
Yeah, and we're just basically like, we just want microphones that work well and consistently.
Yeah, consistent, that are ours. And we want to make films. Like, I have a film idea that's pretty much this that I would love to do and share with you guys.
I'm trying to make horror video games. So,
Yeah,
yeah, we all
and
have the
comic
things.
books
And
and-
comic books.
Yeah.
We're both very creative people. We just don't have a lot of time or money.
Yeah.
But we would like to do all these things and present them to you, and hopefully you're like, yeah, that's the best. I'm so happy I gave this $1 because now look at all this cool stuff.
Yeah, we got a lot of ideas brewing that we want to share with you guys.
We
Some
want you to
cool
be
stuff.
satisfied.
We want to do Twitch. We want to play role-playing games. We want to make riff tracks of
sure
our
do.
experiences
'Cause
watching
we
some of
really
these
do have
films.
commentary. Let me tell you, it was a fun time.
It's just like a good guide for anyone who's afraid of horror films and don't want to watch them alone. Watch them with us, wherever
Watch
you
them
are.
with us. We make every situation significantly less scary through comedy.
Yeah. And if so our number 1, 2, and 3 wish is that you donate, then you share with a friend, and then they donate.
And then you just hang out with us all the time. It's great.
3 wishes.
Woohoo!
Cool.
Yeah.
But be careful what you wish for. Because it might be really cool, like, cool stuff we make.
Yeah.
Films. Yeah, films. Yeah, films. We watch some films. Now let's talk about those films. And all that spooky stuff. And all that spooky stuff.
Okay.
We watched 2 films. The first film that we watched for this series is Wish Upon.
Sure did.
It is a 2017 film that is unintentionally hilarious.
100%, yes. It's trying very hard.
It really
and some of
did.
the actors, like, I like those people. I'm just like, oh, yeah, they're in this. But
Ryan Philippe is in there, or Philippe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we watched Wish Upon, which is essentially Monkey's Paw, but for a 2017 audience.
yeah, modern day.
Yeah. And so it follows a girl who discovers a box that carries magic powers and a deadly price for using them. Right?
And
So-
with the typical trope, it's from a foreign country in a language that she does not understand.
She doesn't
aka
understand-
ancient Chinese.
although she is taking Chinese.
At least
in
there's that
school.
relevancy.
Yeah, like I remember when she first comes into the school and she like goes to class and they're learning Chinese and I was like, that's such an interesting like language to be focused on. Like it seems so weird, like without the context of like what the box
It's
was.
something that happens in suburban schools. It
Yeah.
would be nice for language to be taught everywhere. In all
Oh,
the schools.
absolutely. But like Spanish is the usual one that you would see, or even Japanese. Like I could understand. But the
Japanese
fact that
is more like upper education, secondary, not secondary, college.
I still just thought it was
Mandarin
it's just
Chinese is
weird.
taught somewhat often nowadays.
It was just so strange to me.
In education.
Like it piqued my interest where it was like why that, like that's such a weird, and also like why is that the class that she's in, you know, like I was thinking like literature because then they would talk about like Faust or something, you know, like they would do one of those cheesy things. So when she was first doing that I was like, okay, something's up. But essentially the story is that her mother commits suicide, but it's like real shady, like because she like had the box, she got rid of the box, and then the kid goes down the street, is just playing, comes back.
Just joyful and alive and happy and satisfied with
their little
everything that's
dog.
happening. then comes back.
up and finds her.
It was definitely meant for like a movie traumatizing experience token kind of. She's going to wake up with dreams to this, and this is going to loop back towards the end of the plot.
That's good.
It wasn't creative.
No, but they did it.
But they did it.
Linked it a lot. She did a lot. And the 7 wishes, I liked that there were 7 because 3, it's like
it's real
you're
quick
pretty
to figure out
limited. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta really get with it because she
Real quick.
wishes accidentally, and I thought it was funny because it's like, who says that anymore? Who says I wish anything? I don't think I
Teenagers.
ever am just like, "Ugh, I wish that. Like I don't think I ever have. I'm like, oh,
Teenagers,
I'd like it if this
yeah.
was a different thing, you know. But her first wish is like she just says it like nothing. But she's also touching the box because you have to touch the box.
Well, one thing that's interesting is like I think in Wishmaster he sets it up very much. That's like the difference, I guess. And he sets it up to be like a wish. He puts the word wish into their mouths by like offering it as an option. Where like in this, she kind of just takes that upon herself.
Wish, yeah.
And just starts saying it all the time while touching the box conveniently.
Yeah.
And it's interesting.
And like in the middle, like the 3 wishes in the middle were like ironic. Mm-hmm. Where it's like, okay, I wish that I was popular. Okay, all right. So
That
I'll
won't
say I
happen.
wish that someone loved me. Okay, you know.
Well, she didn't say somebody. She named someone very specific.
Yeah,
But yes.
but like, yeah, but she was just very much just like, okay,
This isn't real.
Yeah.
But I think they did. That's actually one area where I think they did a decent job,
Yeah.
and that like it wasn't. It was very obvious and able to like be believable that she didn't realize the full extent of what she was
Absolutely.
doing in the first like intro period. Because like even after it happened, she literally she noticed that like rot was a topic of the
yeah, and
issue
she was still
happening, but like she still
peculiar.
like she did not even kind of pick it up. She was like, "That's weird. What a strange coincidence."
I have this very sadistic
Magic isn't
friend.
real. It's 2017.
Yeah.
Let's go over here. Why is my friend such an asshole? I
Yeah.
don't know. She has no empathy for other human beings at all. I won't be sad if she dies later. Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think it did a really good job of making a story like this believable in 2017. Because like no one would ever just jump straight away to there's a genie or there's a magic box that makes wishes happen. Bad. And then kills people. No one in the...
It was like
even when people were like, this is exactly what is happening. It is translated. Here's some history stories where several other people had this happen to them. And she's just like, that's a weird coincidence.
Yeah, it was very much like if the Disney Channel movie Read It and Weep
Yeah.
was a horror movie.
Yeah. Read and Weep is a horror movie.
It is in and of its own right.
Schizophrenia
But what I'm
of a
saying is,
horror
it's
movie.
like the same exact thing, but with wishes now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because she's just like, I'm a teenager and I'm cranky and everything's awful. Except her life was significantly better in Read It and Weep than this little girl. Poor little thing.
Yeah.
Witnessing your mom's suicide is definitely a very traumatizing
Yeah.
experience.
And then your dad just dumpster dives. And
And, like,
somehow
next to your
that's
school?
so rude. And
Yeah.
like, how does that...
I'm across from your school. It's like, that doesn't make it better, Dad.
How do they live? Like,
You got
I don't
me.
know how he supports them. And don't you love how the dad
Also, like,
just...
what were the wishes that the mom did? Like, where's
Yeah.
the fruits of that?
Yeah, that's a good question.
She's just dead now.
Because it's like she could have got a different husband.
Oh, stop. He's cute.
He was fine. Well, it was like, it took me a while to realize that it was Ryan Phillippe. Because I kept
they
being like,
made him
is
look
it?
gruff and scruffy as hell.
He was rough. And then he straight up ditches his friend when he gets like popular himself. When he becomes cool. And he plays the saxophone. Like, what is that?
It was weird.
There was some really strange... There's some things that were brought up and then completely dropped. So, like,
Yeah.
the creepy old man uncle. Mm-hmm. What was his
Who
deal?
looked just like the guy from the Rick and Morty episode that
Yeah.
they do. Yeah, it was weird.
But it was, like, for me, what was weird is, like, they kept saying, like, he's a part of our past and, like, it's a part of her mom's life. So I was expecting that he would have had something to do with the wishes that the mom made.
I very much thought that also.
Yeah, and then it never came out.
Wasn't.
He just died, and then she got, like, he was
And
just
then the box
there.
came from some other rando in the town where
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I don't understand.
Like, how
What
did it
is
find its way
this?
back
Like,
to her, and why? What? Like, why? I feel like her mom did not need to have died.
It was a whole time. There was a lot of vagueness that didn't make sense. It was literally very obviously just like a plot point to like bring flashbacks
to
and
give her
trauma
something.
into, like a little more depth, I guess, like why she's wanting for these things, and I don't know.
Yeah, I did feel like it was a very long film.
Oh, it was significantly
like
longer than
forever.
it needed to be.
It felt like forever.
They tried really hard.
Yeah.
They really did. And it was not the worst thing I've ever seen.
No.
But it was definitely also not great. And I don't think anyone needs to see it.
No.
But, like, it was interesting.
We saw it, so you don't have to.
Yeah, and it was just,
Classic.
like, honestly, it felt like there was just, like, bits and pieces from so many other movies that we've seen. Like, what's the one with the witches?
The Craft.
The Craft. That
Yeah.
scene where the guy's like, if I can't have you, no. Like,
Yeah.
it was just like, is this the same thing? They're just, like, in her house now instead of in the woods. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. And he didn't, like, try to rape her in this one.
Yeah, he just,
Which is nice.
spoilers, killed himself.
Yeah. Or tried to.
Or tried to. You know, he was still alive at the end.
Yeah.
But it was just, like, a whole, I don't know.
Yeah. It's a wonder, like, so if the mom didn't die, what I thought was interesting was that she ended up with 2 more siblings.
Yeah.
And, like, she was, like, the mom was still with the dad.
Yeah.
And he was better, I guess. He probably was hoarding because of coping.
Yeah,
Like, he
coping
probably
with the
wasn't
mom's
always like
loss.
that.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. It looked like he was a landscaper before.
Yeah.
Because that's what was the one
Yeah,
scene.
he was doing with the tree.
But yeah, it was just really strange. And I guess if you're looking at it like a teenager receives the option to have 7 wishes, this is a pretty accurate depiction of
Yeah.
like how that would go. In that one, she'd just be like real bad at realizing sense and that stuff was happening. And then also,
They have a very limited worldview.
yeah,
Like,
the
everything's very,
consequence.
yeah. And everything's very much right there. Like, this is what matters. There's not a bigger picture.
Like 17 again.
Yeah, so it's like her wishes are very much the 7 sins. Like, she wishes that the one girl will rot. That's her first wish. And that's like, no one says that either.
Yeah.
She would just rot. Like, that's such a weird phrase. I remember when the trailer came out and that's what it says at the beginning. And I was like, that's not a thing. Is that a thing?
Apparently.
Do people say, I want that person to rot? What do they mean when they say that?
Teenagers, I don't know.
Kids,
We're away from
write
that
in.
time.
Tell us what it means.
Yeah. 2017, it's still pretty relevant. Do
Yeah.
you tell magic boxes that you want your friends to rock?
Yeah.
This just in, tell us.
And it's such
More
a
than
weird,
11.
peculiar, such a peculiar like phrase. And then for it to result, like, and to hear the phrase, she's rotting, like immediately after, how are you not like,
She's like 16.
I know. I was still like, what's happening here? But I think it's interesting because she is the villain. Even
Oh,
though she's their heroine.
100%.
Yeah.
Like almost, she's not, her friends are kind of terrible. Like, sure, she's not popular. She's not like, but she's pretty bad the whole time.
Yeah. She like, yeah, she's very selfish, which sucks for that. Like,
Yeah,
her
like, you're
friends
not
aren't
rooting
that
for
great
her.
either,
Her
though.
friends are awful.
The one friend was okay.
Yeah.
She
But,
was
like,
the one
why
who was
is she
like, why are you
friends with
doing
them
this?
then?
Yeah.
Like, she could do better, man.
The other friend thought she was super cool and gritty, and she was just the worst.
She had like no empathy at all for other people, and then when she died, I wasn't like,
Yeah, no one
that's
cared.
sad. I was just like, well, yes, it's always sad when someone dies, but like, you were really awful. Like, I just,
Yeah, I felt about her the way she felt about other people suffering.
yeah, essentially.
Yeah. Which is such a weird way to go.
Like, I'm just like, is she ever nice? I don't know. There has to be some sort of redeeming, like behind closed doors when we're not watching her in a movie,
Yeah.
that like maybe she's nice to her friends.
Yeah. I enjoyed how towards the end it definitely seemed like an addiction.
Oh,
Like, she literally
yeah.
could just like not make any more wishes.
I think it was like, yeah, and it was also like pride too, that like she's the only one
Yeah.
who can handle the responsibility of the
But she couldn't
box.
handle it.
She feels so important. This is the only time in her life she's ever felt like she
has
was unique
things.
and special and important. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Which is
It's
sad.
Yeah. And then we watched Wishmaster,
Sure did.
which is sorry, hello, Mr. Wes Craven.
Oh yes, hello.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I have to
You
say
and me
about this
both, my
film.
friend.
If you haven't seen Wishmaster from 1997, it's about a demonic djinn who attempts to grant its owner 3 wishes, which will allow him to summon his brethren to Earth. So this is a little different. It's not, I want your soul. It's, I want to be free. Because he's like a genie. So
He also takes souls to, gain
Yeah.
strength and power. I think that's an element of it, but it's not the main focus.
No. No, it's like a side story.
Yeah, I guess the soul is the exchange to the key to the opening of the world, whatever.
Yeah, and that's like in Wish Upon, for every wish, it was a blood pact or something, a blood oath or something.
They
So
had to be
someone
paid.
would die because she made a wish,
Yeah.
which sucked. And it was always like so random how the people were picked.
Yeah, because it's not, for sure just like, is it people she loves? And it's like, no, it's just anybody who interacts with her. And it's like, that sucks. What if I got coffee near her?
Done.
Rude. I didn't make this wish. How's she gonna even know I died? That's not
Yeah.
equivalent.
And does he get like, does the box get
At the end, the
souls?
box gets her and the souls.
Yeah,
Their souls and hers.
because she made the sin, not the sin. She made the wish, which is what I was
she
thinking. I
does.
was like, technically, at the end of Wishmaster, she makes 3 wishes. So
Yeah, I was waiting for her to straight up die. at the end.
despite that, it was like, okay, let's go back. It's like, no, now his people are unlocked because she made the 3 wishes. That's the only caveat. It doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I guess if we're going back to like the research that I did, it's like the idea that the djinn is trying to manipulate your own words and your idea of what like free will is, and then if you trick them, that's the
Yeah.
only way to defeat.
Yeah, because then they're
It-
like, touche.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
I'll go back in this stone for another hundreds of years.
Yeah. And it's always like, go back to when I got this thing. Because that's what she did.
But then she still died because that's what happens.
Yeah. Because she made the wish. Yeah. So it's like this woman who somehow she just like dusts off and like rubs a gem, which has the gem.
She's
in
an
it.
appraiser of gems, for context.
She's not just rubbing gems. Left
Yeah,
and
he's not just walking around like Gabe does and rubs bottles for some reason. I don't know why you're doing that. It's a dangerous
Because
game.
genies.
Careful what you wish for,
As
Gabe.
potential
Do you
genies.
want this situation? I don't think you do.
I'm going to write up contracts.
Nah, you're not gonna outsmart them, and then I'm just gonna die because I'm here, and it's not fair. Don't do it.
Okay.
But yeah, so she's rubbing gems.
And it unleashes the most hideous, disgusting, awful trypophobia.
Cronenberg-esque monster. Oh my
Like
god.
activating disgust. Did I say disgusting monster?
You hated it a lot.
It was the worst. I hid for a solid 10 minutes in my clothes because I could not watch it. It
Yeah.
triggered so much. If you have trypophobia, here's a trypophobia warning. Don't
watch that
that
movie.
part. When he comes through, and there's a lot, it's very much, so this is what I was thinking. You know, people are always like groaning about how nowadays we have like gore and it's like awful.
No, there's so much gore in that. You think they're not gonna show a thing, and then it's just right up in your face.
But it's like absurd gore. It's like
It's
weird
Cronenberg-esque
stuff.
gore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just like weird, right? So I
Are they
guess
friends?
like
I don't know. I just feel like there had to be some
we
inspiration
definitely
from.
gotta have
yeah.
conversations. Because like I mean, I think what people are afraid of with gore these days is that it looks more realistic.
Yeah.
And so it's like
It's
oh,
not
okay,
ketchup.
That's
It's
it's
the
not some
time.
weird like bug creature coming out of you and your skin
Which is
melting
It's
off.
still terrifying. It's just in a different way, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The whole time. But it's a very gross movie. I will definitely agree with you there. If you have trypophobia or just like you don't like
You
gross things,
You don't
I
like
would
ewy,
not watch this film.
Yeah, and another thing that was cool about it though was that it does feature numerous horror movie actors. So Robert Englund from A Nightmare on Elm Street
Yep.
is in there. He's one of the main-ish characters
Before Murder Founds.
before the murder phones or after.
I don't know. Probably after.
Tony Todd is in there from Night of the Living Dead and The Candyman. There's also Angus Scrimm and Reggie Bannister from Phantasm. And then there's also Kane Hodder from Friday the 13th and Jason movies. And then Ted Raimi from Darkman and Army of Darkness. So
Nice.
Wes Craven's like, let me get all my spooky friends together and I'm going to make
just
a really
gonna make
gross,
this
gory,
movie.
disgusting film. And
Yeah.
then we made 6 of them. What I thought was interesting was the way that he tricked people.
Yeah.
Like, and it wasn't always wish.
He really put the words in his
He'd
mouth.
say, do you want this? And they'd be like, yeah. And he's like, counts.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a lot of like
Credit for
blurred
me.
line
Yeah, like,
level
what are
stuff.
the rules? Can we consult the
Do you
rules?
have to say wish?
Yeah.
No.
And I just love his, like...
Just be careful what you say to strangers, man.
People ask for dumb things. I was like, if your soul is going to be up, and I get it. Like, again, no one is going to
No
imagine.
one's aware of,
Even
like,
in
what they're doing.
97, no one thinks that magic's real and
Yeah.
wishes are going to happen. 10 years, 20 years before. Yeah, 20 years before our wish upon, you know? But it was like, don't you want to be beautiful forever? He was so rude to her. He was like, you know, your beauty's going to fade and you're going to be nothing. And
And she was like, yeah, no, that's what being a freaking human is.
yeah, she's like, yeah.
You know, I know. And she's like, well, why don't you wish that you'll be beautiful forever?
She's like,
wish
I
that I'll
guess.
be beautiful forever. And then she's a mannequin.
Yeah.
That's rude.
Yeah. Which is actually homage to Twilight Zone. Yeah. It is, let me see. That scene where she becomes a mannequin echoes from the season 1, episode 34, The After Hours, where a female shopper is revealed to be one of the store's mannequins made human. It was so cheesy. And then, of course, in true horror
Well, you
movie
only
fashion...
watched the first one, so yeah.
And in true Wes Craven fashion, you have a woman who does survive at the end, who is in fact a woman with a gender-neutral name, Alex. And she's not like other girls. She likes sports.
Yeah.
She knows sports stuff.
She wears caps backwards.
She wears caps
and
backwards.
doesn't throw herself with the best friend man.
Nope. She's
Till the end.
bigger than that. But then she also previously already had hysteria from saving her parents, which is like, wow, they picked like the perfect girl to trigger here. You're gonna pick a normal person who doesn't have anything wrong with them.
No, they killed all of those.
Yeah, they were gone.
Those were easy.
Yeah.
She doesn't want for nothing. She's had a hard life.
Yeah. I think my favorite, and by favorite I mean it was also the worst, was when he's trying to get into the one jewelry place and the guard's like, you're not coming through here. He's like, well, what do you want? And he's like, I want you to leave. And
he's like,
he has to leave. He's like, damn it. I have to leave and I need to get in there. And then the guy's like, the only way you're getting through here is through me.
And I'd love to see that.
Try. He's like,
or whatever.
Yeah. And then the weirdest way that happened, but it was also another trypophobia warning. But it was also like, really, guy? Why?
That's what I'm saying.
So close. We saw a glimpse of how it could
When
win.
someone walks up to you and says some weird stuff, don't engage.
And is clearly baiting you to say a certain phrase or to just be like, you want something, don't give it to him.
Or he's one. The whole thing is the manipulation, and it's like, don't. Why? For what? You said that because for what? Now you're dead.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Common sense fear. Everyone's gonna kill you. It's fine.
Just don't do it.
Just don't engage. Walk away.
There's also the terrible beginning sequence where it's just an Arabic scene played probably mostly by white people. It was the whole time. But it was 97 and it's 2018 and still happening. So we haven't learned that Gods of Egypt or whatever film was just all white people. Hey, hello, Scarlett Johansson? What the fuck?
They did a mild amount of research, appropriated a shit ton, and then just put a movie together with a bunch of people.
Yep, just what did I just witness?
Genius. We get that on a shirt.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Wes Craven, it was gory, it was over the top, just like he is. Like, you know, just like our murder fountain from our Nightmare on Elm Street.
I would expect nothing less.
It was so weird. Don't touch stuff from other places that don't belong to you and you don't understand.
Like, learn about
you're a
it
white
and leave
person.
them there. Like, it's not. Why
Or
you
you're
gotta
a
take
young
it back?
person. If you're a young person and you don't understand ancient Chinese, maybe don't touch the box. Maybe don't read the Latin. Can we just throw out some basic, scary rules? Don't do it. Don't say the thing the person wants you to say.
Just, respect the reality around you. Just be happy for what you
with
have.
what you got, man.
Yeah. There's lots of good stuff. Even if there's, horrible, horrible things happening. There's, one good thing.
Yeah.
Are you breathing?
You know what it is?
Cool.
It's your feelings.
Okay.
Yeah, feelings. Yeah, I said feelings. Let's talk about feelings. Okay.
Okay, if you like it, it's Wes Craven a sandwich.
Excellent.
And if you don't like it, it's Mustafa, please don't do that.
Okay.
So
With it.
All right, so with the whole theme of wishes are fishes and the world is an ocean, how do you feel?
Well, I think it's just really fascinating. So I find the whole thing very interesting. So
Yeah.
I'd say I'm Wes Craven me a sandwich.
This is the best rating I've ever come up with.
I'm really proud of
I
you.
love it so
You're
much.
really great. Because just like it's a really fun and interesting analysis of human psychology and why we're all awful.
Absolutely.
It's just a nice little representation wrapped up in a little bow, as if it was a wish or a gift or whatever the heck.
Yeah, it's definitely a lesson, and it's like spans throughout different stories. Like there's a common theme in there, and it's essentially like don't take what you have for granted, and that the grass is always greener on the other side. I'm Wes Craven, me a sandwich.
Nice.
Craving a nice big sandwich. Not after watching Wishmaster though. I'm craving.
No, yeah, we'll talk about the movies next.
Yeah. So for the films, for Wish Upon and Wishmaster.
I would say, Mustafa, please stop.
Mustafa, please don't do that.
Please don't do it.
Don't do it anymore.
They're just,
6
I
movies later.
understand why. Because you need to know the stuff. But did I enjoy them?
Because you have to do a thing.
You gotta know.
I understand why we watched it, because we make a podcast. But
Yeah.
you don't, so, or I mean, maybe you do, but probably not.
You don't need to.
Also, stop, because this is our thing. Okay?
We're the only ones. I wish.
No, don't do it!
We had no competition.
Get out! Everyone's gone. No. We also don't have any listeners, because no one can listen anymore.
No, I'm kidding. The price.
It's too high.
It's too high. I'm so alone.
Stop it, please don't do it.
Yeah, no, it's the whole thing though. It's just like, I get it,
Yeah.
but nah.
Yeah, Wish Upon was alright. But I would not have watched it if it were not for this.
Oh, 100% no.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know. If there are better ones
Yeah.
that express this
There aren't.
concept, please, someone make one.
Yeah.
Or like just send us some links. Maybe there's just
Yeah.
some obscure,
Maybe there's like an
wonderful
indie or
little
something.
unicorn movie
Yeah.
that really just puts this in perspective for everyone. Or maybe a comic or like
Yeah.
something that we just didn't explore, because I find the whole thing very fascinating. But all of the movies were so weird.
Hey, you got time to watch a 15-hour play?
No.
Oh, well, I guess not.
I'm not, nah. I would wish for it to be over.
Oh, no!
Yeah, and I'm not trying to sacrifice
You're not
some
learning
stuff.
anything.
I'm not, clearly, because there's not a good one.
Yeah.
I'll just read.
Yeah.
Learn.
Yeah. Well, there's like there's a movie called Djinn. There's Monkey's Paw,
Yeah.
which was also very bad.
Yeah, no, I read. I think I've seen it too, but I read
No,
about
I think
it
we
as
watched
well.
it together. 'Cause that sounds
Yeah,
like
I just want it to be done right, because it's just such an interesting concept. And I think it could be done right.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I think elements of it were really cool, like in Wish Upon with like, they really did. That's the 7 deadly sins. And if like what they were trying to do was show like what a teenager would do with wishes and be stupid, like yeah, no, they did that. That was accurate. That's exactly
Yeah.
what would have happened. But it wasn't satisfying.
Yeah, I think if they took the movie 7 and then made it about wishes instead.
Yeah.
Done. Sold. Here I am.
Yeah. Signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In summation. How we get that film made. Patreon.
We'll
Go
make
there.
it.
We'll make it. You want a good Djinn movie? You want a good Wishes Gone Bad movie? Boy, do we have a film for you. It's
Yeah.
in our brain. I think we learn lessons, though. So you guys learn lessons inadvertently. Yeah, well, don't get married.
They'll eat your kids.
Okay, bye.
Bye.